In all Central Asian countries, serving in the military of a foreign country is considered a crime and is classified under the article of mercenaries. Therefore, migrants who agree to sign a contract with the Russian Ministry of Defense face criminal prosecution if they return to their home countries. In January, Vladimir Putin signed a decree simplifying the process of granting Russian citizenship to foreigners who signed a contract to serve in the Russian armed forces during the so-called special military operation. More than 3,000 foreigners who fought on Moscow's side in the war against Ukraine have already received Russian citizenship, according to the Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs.
At the same time, with the distribution of citizenship to foreigners involved in the war, Russian authorities began prosecuting those who obtained Russian passports but did not register for military service. In early August, Putin signed a law under which naturalized Russians can lose their citizenship if they fail to report to the military enlistment office. Following this, as important stories reported, at least 12 individuals had their Russian passports revoked. After being stripped of their citizenship, they were required to leave the country. From the Moscow Times on Telegram.
Since the start of the full-scale war against Ukraine, the Russian military has already lost more than 700,000 soldiers. This data comes from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. They report that on November 3rd alone, the Ukrainian defense forces destroyed 1,300 Russian invaders, along with dozens of units of enemy equipment and weapons. Due to the shortage of manpower, Russia has begun deploying North Korean soldiers to the front. According to Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation at the National Security and Defense Council, the first North Korean fighters have already come under fire. The fate of these soldiers has not been clarified.
But how long will these Russian or even North Korean soldiers be able to sustain the missions? I have serious doubts. After all, everything in this world eventually reaches its final point, and the Russians using their manpower so recklessly on such a scale may end up with nothing, unable to attack and even unable to defend themselves.
It is known that at least 7,000 North Korean soldiers are likely stationed in the Kursk region, according to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense's main intelligence directorate. In total, Pyongyang is expected to send about 12,000 soldiers to support Moscow in the war against Ukraine.
This is a significant number. While it is unlikely that this will strategically solve any problems for the Russian regime, it is still a notable factor, and we must account for these risks.
North Korea receives $2,000 for each soldier it sends to fight. Meanwhile, Russian regions are increasing payments for signing contracts to fight in the war against Ukraine. Regardless of whether an individual is registered in Moscow or not, signing a contract in the capital guarantees a payment of 5.5 million rubles, which is about $36,000. In more remote regions of Russia, the sums offered for the contract are significantly lower. As a result, there seems to be a competition among regional governors to send the most people to the front. Reported by Serhiy Kulias, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.